Thank you for joining me. My name is Brian, and thanks for joining my channel on strategic intervention professional coaching, and where I discuss topics concerning performance and psychology and different type of tactics you can use to improve your performance in many different arenas, including athletics, healthcare, for example, like in my case, or military applications, things like that. Anything that you're in high stakes environment where you have to concentrate and make decisions. Now, in my PhD studies that I'm currently going over, there's some topics I wanted to throw in the discussion today. Humanistic psychology, which really brought psychology back to the focus on things like self-actualization, motivation, creativity, love, concepts that were hard to measure, and got away from the empirical evidence of psychology with behaviorism, Skinner's box, things like that. So there is still that classical debate of which is more psychological science, the empirical study of behaviorism or the internal study of certain concepts that are hard to measure, like love. Now, in the discussion of performance, self-actualization, this is very important because when we look at internal motivators, what motivates you? It's usually not things like of classical conditioning, like the Skinner box, like the cheese at the end of the maze, but it's usually more intrinsic values like significance or self-realization, or even if you have loved ones that you're doing a certain concept or certain goal for your family to provide support, or to even to earn their respect, maybe, for example. So that humanistic point of view, leading back to the person-centered therapy of Carl Rogers, or the self-actualization of Abraham Maslow. So these are great concepts if you want to look them up. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Self-actualization was at the top of that pyramid, where basic needs were kind of the foundation of that. To be loved and connected is somewhere in between there. So just wanted you to think about some concepts of your motivators and your big whys. In every sales program I've ever done, they always say, what is your big why? And they want to learn your motivator. They want to learn what is making you tick, so that way they can leverage it and make a sale. But I want you to think about it in terms of your performance. When you go to work every day, whether you're a football player or a healthcare worker, a doctor or a nurse, or you're a pilot, or even if you're an engineer, or if you're a plumber, or any type of vocation, do you go into work thinking, I'm going to do the best I can, and what is my big why? Why am I doing this job? Why am I doing this on a day-to-day basis? And some people need help with that because they've lost their motivation. And I know personally in healthcare, it's easy to do when you become burnt out or worn out, and things like personal efficacy, or just even emotional desensitization. You become kind of cold. So think about motivators. Think about what gets you your big why, but do it on a level that's more for your own personal motivation on a day-to-day basis, because that's what's going to lead you to those disciplined habits of daily behavior to make yourself more productive. Now, another thing I want to talk about is productivity. Sometimes we go a little crazy with productivity, I think, in our culture. It's all about high productivity, produce, produce, produce. Sometimes we forget to take time to recharge, regenerate, rest, recuperate, reflect on the performance you've had. So you got to balance that in there, and you got to have a good balance with that. So productivity and performance are great, but you have to have balance with rest and recoup. Same thing with your nervous system, even your sympathetic nervous system and your sympathomimetic, or your parasympathetic. So one is your fight or flight, and one is your rest and digest. And your body oscillates between those two in harmony. Same thing here. You don't want to be go, 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 go all the time. And highly productive people tend to do that. And vice versa. Non-productive people tend to be resting too much. So what's that medium balance? So Person-centered, look at your performance as far as productivity versus rest. Do things of, and in that reflection time, think about what is your big why. What is motivating you to do that? Why do you want to be at work 60 hours a week, 80 hours a week, 100 hours a week? Because that's what it takes to be the best in whatever field, whether it be a sports field, if you're a football player, a basketball player, or you're a physician, or you're, an F-24 pilot. You have to go into work with focus, positivity, effort, discipline, and all those arenas if you want to be the, top of your game. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little video. I hope to post more and more as time goes on as far as performance psychology and performance coaching. So if you have any comments, please leave them below. I enjoy reading them. I'll definitely try to get back to everyone. And I hope you're having a great day. Talk to you soon.